Hello, I'm back again. It's the next day. I will usually do these, um, I'll only have like a review like every week or whatever, but I'm gonna start off with quite a few, so I can get through some of these Bruce Timm series episodes and whatnot. So I think I'm just gonna get right off on this. I'm gonna be reviewing Superman the Animated Series Volume 1. Now, this came a few years after Batman the Animated Series. It was really started in 1996, and I remember when this first came out. I was really little, but I remember getting the VHS tape of the first basically, I think it was the first 3 episodes, but they put it together into a movie, and I still have the VHS tape. Actually, it's really was really great. The first thing I have to say about this is, for one, if you haven't noticed on my page, Superman is my favorite superhero, and it may not. People usually don't agree with that, but I do. I think he's my favorite. So, that's all I'm going to say about that. The first episode of this was Last Son of Krypton, Part 1. And what I really liked about the first part of this episode was didn't have any Superman in it. It was all on Krypton. It really got you to know the tragic story of, him, the planet exploding and everything, and it got you to know his parents, and it got you to know what his parents were like, and how he kind of acts on Earth is kind of how they acted on Krypton. And they kind of made Jor-El a little more of an action hero in this, rather than just a scientist who kind of stands around. So that was kind of cool, and it showed there were really great scenes in between with him and his wife talking and arguing, and just nice scenes with them that are really touching. The other really cool thing about what Bruce Timm and Paul Dini and all of them who wrote this, what they did with the story of Krypton had to do with Brainiac. Now, in the comic books, Brainiac was more of just an alien from a planet. I don't even remember what the planet was called. But he was just he was from a different planet, and actually, in this, he is a kind of a AI computer in Krypton that they made, and he kind of controls and gives news about the planet and Krypton and everything. So that was kind of cool, because Brainiac kind of has a new motivation in this show of wanting to destroy planets. So he tells them that there's nothing wrong with the planet, but there really is. It's really going to explode soon. And Jor-El knows that, and he tries to convince everyone, and they don't believe him. And you know that story, the planet explodes, Superman's there, Superman. But it's really cool how they put him in there, because he's really he's one of the bigger Superman villains, and it's kind of cool to have a better, cooler backstory. I thought that was a cooler backstory. I don't know about some of you, but I thought that was a really great part of it. And Last Son of Krypton Part 2 was of him landing on Earth and growing up on the farm with the Kents, and that's another really, really great episode, just because I love the music in that episode. I don't know. I thought all of these Bruce Timm series had really great music. Really, just it fit all the scenes usually, and I thought some of the best music in Last Son of Krypton Part 2 was when he's jumping for the first time, learning how to fly, and that's a great scene too. It's all kind of the same thing. They used they had Paul Kent not die in this since they remade Superman back in the 80s, and I thought that was cool, because that kind of gave you a better relationship, and it wasn't really needed. So I thought that was nice. Great episode too. Got you right in there. The very end of the episode takes you into Metropolis, but really, Last Son of Krypton Part 3 is all of Metropolis, and that's when you first see Superman. And I thought they did a really nice job of how nobody knew what Superman was, where he came from, or anything, and he was kind of just this mysterious. They called him an angel, and that was, yeah. And the first time he saves Lois is a great moment, and chasing down the plane was great. And then when the missile hits the plane and he has to stop it for the first time, and he doesn't even have his name yet of Superman. He calls himself Clark. He doesn't even know what to do, and he's still working on out the kinks of saving the world and whatnot. But great episode too. Really great start to this series. Then there's just way more episodes on this. That's basically just the first episode. The rest of them were all really, really great. I thought each episode had something special to it that you could remember. I didn't really like the Promethean. I thought it was all right. I thought all these episodes are great, but it was probably my least favorite just because it didn't have the villain, he's just this giant monster, and I felt Superman did fight giant monsters a lot, but I felt like there was more characters they could have introduced, and they could have done a little more to start off the show than that episode. But it's still a good episode. Great animation. They had to kind of retry this animation stuff because with Batman the Animated Series, they actually used black paper, and so their colors made it all darker. For this, Superman's always really upbeat, and it's usually in a lighter place. Metropolis is a lot cleaner, not a lot nicer. A lot of people live there, and it's so they kind of had to work with the animation on that, and I thought they did fine with it. They still had the best animation I've seen. First few episodes were a little groggy, but you got to remember that back at this time they didn't have any computer animation or anything, and for what they had, they did a great job. Actually, I remember seeing some of these episodes, and if you look kind of actually in Stolen Memories, there's quite a few. There's one I can remember when Brainiac is at the hologram and he leaves. The flash of him leaving is actually just a split-second frame of Krypton exploding. And the same when Superman punches through him at the end of the episode. They kind of use tricks like that, which I thought were really interesting for the time. And if you freeze frame it, you can actually see it, and I thought that was kind of cool. Overall, this started off the series really, really well. Good note. Really set up everything for the next season, and I think it's just a great collection of episodes. Great introduction of villains and characters, and I think this is just something you would love to have on your shelf if you're a big superhero or Superman fan. Great piece of history. I think it's great. So that's about it for this one. Don't really have anything else to say about it. I'm going to be reviewing Superman the Animated Series Volume 2 next time, and I don't know when I'm going to do that. I'm going to try and break them up a little more, but I'm going to get these first couple out so I can get them finished in time so I don't forget and stuff. So that's the review, and thanks for watching.